Yeah, so it's been a uneventful week up until today. And yeah, both Cliff and I had near fatal accidents today. I'll let him tell his story later, but I'll clip in a shot of mine. Seems how I happened to catch mine on film. Oh yeah, that would have been truly viral. Yeah, so make sure you hang out for the end of this one, folks, because Cliff's got a good story to tell. But yeah, it's Friday night here at Nestled Feathers, folks, and we are getting ready to close up the shop, and the wine is poured, and we are looking forward to getting a good resin pour on tonight. Trying something a little different. I actually said nothing. I usually do a little more of an intro than that. But we can just timer there. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and mix my resin, but let's go over the colors I'm going to use. We are using some new mica powders, new to me anyway. And this one is called an interference red, which to me looks absolutely white. So I have no idea, like, what is that going to do? So I have some alcohol ink on standby, and it is not red. It's actually a sunset orange. But if that needs a little boost of color, then we're going to go ahead and add maybe a few drops of that. We're using the Cast & Craft opaque white pearl. And see if we can get that up there. So with that, I have mica powder that I'm going to mix, and this one is called a interference blue. So see, these interference colors are new to me with the micas. I am not sure what exactly they do, but that's why we're going to get them in the resin and give it a whirl, see. But also on this side we are working with a duo red blue, which I'm familiar with the duos. They kind of are, you know, primarily one color with a little bit of a tint of the other. And last but not least, I have a duo violet brass, pardon me. This one is called a duo violet brass. So with that, I also have a backup alcohol ink. There we go. All right, so yeah. This one is a purple twilight. So that's to boost that color. And even though I'm working with this beautiful, smooth, white, pristine surface, I thought I'd get a little crazy tonight and try adding, these are actually inclusions for paper making, but it's kind of like a little leaf copper flux. Name it, they're good copper dust. So we're going to be throwing a little of that in. So I'm going to go ahead and have Cliff turn off the camera for now. I'm going to get everything mixed up, and we'll be right back in as soon as we're ready to pour. Folks, so I made a little bit too much resin, kind of on purpose. I always have a few molds on hand for just this circumstance, and what I like to do, especially when I'm still working with the clear, is just get a little layer started in some of my molds, and I'm going to skip that skinny one because I really like this double heart one down here, and I want to try that again. And now I'm going to go ahead. I know folks like to watch this part. It's kind of helpful to see everything being mixed up. So I can possibly keep my hair out of the way and get the rest of my molds out of the way. Let's see if we can go ahead and do this without getting too sticky. So I'm going to move that to the side and just very quickly show you some of the things that have come out of the molds. Little beginning projects, not quite sure what they'll end up being, whether they'll end up being sun catchers or coasters or something, but these are all going to be new. So I'm going to carefully kind of pop that top knot right under my nose, and hoping that you are seeing how much we are using here. Not an awful lot because I have no idea what this is going to do. So let's just go ahead and sink that right in, which is what I like to do with my mica powders. I like to sink them right into the resin. And let's just give it a stir first and see what turns up. My guess is it's going to stay translucent with a pinkish shift to it. So, being that we're working on a white board, we're definitely going to want to boost that, because there's I can see, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but I can see it in the light. There's this pinkish shift to it. So, I know this isn't pink, and I have a plum color, but let's just see what these two mixed together will look like. This is that sunset orange. And I'm going to put just one drop in at a time and then mix. Because I don't really want to overpower either one. Yum yummy. Very pretty, but I think it needs just a few more drops. So, 2 more drops. One, 2. Alright, so how's everybody been this week? Hope you all have had a great week. The weather is getting nice everywhere. Out. It's kind of like the head of a popsicle stick, if you can see that. And I'm going to sink that right in there. Get this cap back on quick. Not anything you want to sneeze around, these mica powders. You want to be careful with them. Not good to breathe. In fact, I do suggest that you wear a dust mask when you're working with them. And I always have in the past, but it's a little hard to hear me in the video. And this is going to react pretty much the same way as the red did. The interference blue and interference red, I'm getting it now, is just going to give you that ever so slight tint of blue or red or whichever. And so this ought to be interesting, because to this I'm going to add the white, which I'm going to give it another good shake, because that is the one thing with these little opaque colors from Cast and Craft. They need to be shook very well before you go squirting them out. Otherwise you're not going to get the full strength. It's going to be a little more translucent. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of that, and I think I'm going to come back in with my favorite, you know it, you've heard it before, some Stream, because this is still looking very, very like snowball white. And grab my standby, my Stream, with all these other beautiful colors. So I'm scraping the sides and getting that mixed really well. I did mix my resin while it was clear for a full 3 minutes tonight, so I wouldn't have to do a whole lot of mixing here. Okay, so that's looking, I like those two together. They're just about the right tones and nothing too opaque, nothing too translucent. So the next color is the Blue-Red Duo. But I'm going to again take just about the same amount. You really shouldn't need a whole lot of these mica powders, even though I am in a bit of resin there. This one as well with, and that's why I saved the plum. I don't have a lot of alcohol inks yet. I don't like have a full set, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't go with my first instinct, and that was to grab that plum when the first color looked, the interference red. That would have been my go-to, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that out too, and I'm just going to add 1 drop. This is also a very strong one, like the Stream. It's very, very strong. So we're just going to go 1 big drop in the middle. Okay, much lovelier. And yeah, most of the micas that I've worked with in the past are very strong and really don't need a lot of boosting, and that's why in particular working with a whiteboard, I see I'm going a little bit more with this one because I have a little bit more in the cup. So we're gonna go ahead and sink that right in, get that going. See if you need a boost as well. But yeah, so that, you know, that's kind of the idea tonight, is to stay with the more translucent colors because we are working with a whiteboard. And I think I will also give this one drop of this because this is the stronger of the two purples that I have. I have that Cool Perry, which is on the light side. This Purple Twilight is a little bit darker. And we're just gonna go with one drop in there. Let's see, how are we doing on everything? Battery's still holding out, cards holding out. Just checking my stats while I stir. And just getting everything out of the way and making way for a little of this to go in one. Now, which one should it go into? And then I was thinking, well, you know, those nice complementary, that wouldn't look bad together, you know, I'd go with these two here. Wouldn't even look bad in this one. Wouldn't look bad in any of them, actually. But, so, any guesses? What do you think, Cliff? Where am I gonna go with it?
Go with the blue.
Go with the blue? That's what your vote is? Okay, Cliff votes blue. We're gonna let Cliff win.
My vote don't mean much.
We're gonna let Cliff win. He's had a rough day. He almost lost his life today. Go ahead and tell your story, honey.
My rim exploded out of the back of my truck. Just split in two and flew in the air.
No, that's not how you told me the story. Let me tell you, folks. He walks up to me. He comes home. He's like, give me a hug. I'm like, why? What's the matter? And he's like, I need a hug. I'm like, well, okay, now you're scaring me. What's going on? What happened? Come on, honey. Sorry to interrupt.
I was working on a trailer that I just bought and have to redeck it because it's like a wood bed. And I was throwing the wood in the back of my truck and I had a rim that had some pinholes in it. It was an aluminum rim off my truck. I thought I fixed it with some Flex Seal. And the other day, it was like, it's been sitting in the shop at work for a week. So I figured, oh, I'll throw it in the back of my truck for a spare. I wasn't going to trust it on the truck, but I figured, well, it'd be there for a spare. While I'm working on the trailer, all of a sudden I heard boom! And the truck bed's shaking. And then I look and it's like, the rim's gone.
Oh my God.
And all I could think is like, where'd it go? And then all of a sudden I hear this whipping wind and the sound, and I just started to duck, and it fell about 10 feet behind me.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how far it flew in the air or what, but it's like, if it had come down, it would have killed me.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just,
I was like, ugh.
Still have a hard time listening to that. But, and then later we're laughing about it and saying, oh geez, it's too bad we didn't have that on video. That one would have gone viral for sure.
Well, yeah. How high did it fly? I don't know how high. What?
And then, so, you know, he goes back to work, you know, he goes to my son's house and he does his lawn mowing there on Fridays. And, oh, that's going to be interesting. It's got a very beachy feel to it. I don't know how close I can get this, but that is looking interesting. Okay, so yeah, he tells me this story and goes back to work, and I'm like, okay, and going about my day, and I'm coming down the stairs with my new camera, the one we're filming on right now, the new T7i in my hand. Even though I don't have a polarizer for it yet, and it was a beautiful sunny day, I just couldn't resist getting it out there and doing a little video. As I'm walking down the stone step path to our yard, and down I went, and I caught it all on film. I'll show you that I have indeed prepped that on the back with some nice wide blue tape, as I forgot my last resin pour. If you remember, I do. Something you really don't want to forget in this game is your prep. So, giving each one of these a final stir, putting it on the board. What are we going to do? And oh, actually, before we get going, I still have some clear resin here we need to get out on the board. If we make a big mess onto the parchment, that's gonna be okay. After tonight, I think we're probably going to take a slight deviation from actual pouring to some finishing because if you are a pourer, if you are a confessed pourer, if you love doing this, then you already know what I'm talking about. Every flat surface everywhere in your workspace, your home is probably covered with a pour in some stage of needing finishing. Either it needs a top coat or it needs something. So that's where we're gonna go for the next couple of weeks. We are going to finish off some pieces, and we are also going to be prepping a larger project. So when we come back in from doing our little deviation, then we will be doing, we are going to be doing some bigger projects, more functional tabletops. All right, so I've got a lot of resin already on the board. I am going to briefly torch the bubbles out of what I have on there already. And just give a little quick check on my battery as I do that. Battery is looking good still, so just taking a few of these bubbles. I don't want them getting trapped in there, and when I pour the other on, one of the things I have a problem with watching people as they compose their pours is that they get very diagonal or circular, and I don't know, I'm compositionally, I just am not there. Okay, so that's some nice pretty purple, and I'm going to move on to the pink.
You might want to save a little.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have plenty.
Oh, you might want to stick more on though.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to be all right.
Slowly go for it.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to do a flower shape. Let's see what that looks like. Don't you think? It's all very light.
We still got two colors too.
I know, but it's still so very
Time
light.
to get it on there. Just keep going.
Okay.
Worry about stuff.
Okay, so what should we need some bare corners. I mean, if you're gonna have negative space, I like to see a good amount of it. This has got the flaky stuff in it. So, we want to try to get it around, but oh, that's just looking like sherbet. Makes me want a big old bowl of sherbet. No? Okay, so here's where we're at. Now I'm just gonna give it a torch. Okay. Well, I think it requires another sip of wine, first of all. Again, cheers, folks. It's been a great week. It's been a very eventful day. Let's hope the rest of the weekend is a little quieter. All right, so yeah, we're discussing what else we need to do to this. I'm saying it looks a little more pastel than I like, and Cliff is reminding me that I still have quite a bit of purple and pink left. But I am also afraid that that is just still going to be just light, you know, it's just all going to be light. So my idea is to either darken these with more ink, a little bit of each of these left, or just go in and drop, which I kind of like that. I mean, I think it's just going to be more pastel if I just add it to that, but I have so much of this one I don't want to see it go to waste either, so let's go half and half. I'll meet you halfway. How's that, babe? I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 drops of that in there because I wanted that cap for me. And let's see how we're gonna end up with 3 more drops in there. Scraping the sides, trying to get it all mixed up. This cup's feeling pretty warm, sitting around as long as it has. So that is quite a bit darker, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this. Yep, I know, just a little twizzle. Some more of the sunset orange. And because I kind of like what it does when it's dropped inside of each other, I'm gonna try to be a little strategic in my placement and not quite so random. Wherever I see these little loop-de-loops, I'm gonna get a little drizzle or drop of some alcohol ink in there and see where that kind of takes it. Or bare spots too. I mean, I'm seeing some absolute pure white coming through that board. It's coming up through. Well, here's a, and I'm gonna go right inside of each one of these with some butterscotch. So we've got lots of warm colors going on so far with the oranges and pinks and yellows. Now, and yeah, my first instinct, see now this is what I like. This is, I think, is how you kind of achieve cells in resin a little bit. I haven't been real successful at it yet, but I keep trying. What else have we got over here? We've got the Cool Perry. A lot of yellows. I am going to come back in with that Purple Twilight because that's stronger. And then we'll come in over top of the Purple Twilight with some Cool Perry. Looking pretty good there. Okay, Cool Perry time. And I'm just going to go around and do the same thing. I'm just going to come in with that lighter color inside of these darker. This is like that make or break moment. When you decide whether you're going to blow it around a little, blow it around a lot, use a straw, use a hairdryer, use the torch, tilt. There's all kinds of things that we could do, so my suggestion is to, once again, use the torch. The torch does a couple things. It takes the air bubbles out, but it also heats it up so that if you want to move it around, you know, just by sliding or swirling or twirling or tilting or whatever, once it's all warmed up, it should move a little easier for you. The one thing you don't want to do is burn your resin, so don't stay in one spot too long, don't get too close, keep it moving at all times, do not stop. Okay, so let's see if we got just any kind of because I've never really worked too much with this, just tilting. I'm not much of a tilter. I'm more of a hairdryer, blower around person. Down that way, because I know that corner was looking a little on the bare side. Let's kind of break that surface tension already. Get over the corner. All right, well, I coax that around the corner a little bit here. Try to stay over my cup so I'm not gluing. That's another thing you have to be aware of. Don't resin your cups to the bottom of your project. Okay, good and sticky. Now is the time to pick up the hairdryer, right? All right, I'm switching gloves so I can do that because these ones are just toast. Done. All right, we can get going. I'm going to particularly work on these alcohol ink spots because they're so strong, and we want them to stay strong, but we want them to kind of do their own funky thing. You don't want them to look like just drops. Well, that's looking way more interesting to me now. I don't know about y'all, but let's just turn that off for a minute and think about it. What do you think? The only thing that's bothering me are the flecks because they're popping up and I see them popping up, and I'm used to trying to achieve that beautiful glass-like finish, and I'm seeing all these little specks in there. Let's just try to bring it up closer. Let's get your opinion. What do you think? Not bad. Different. Bright. Light. Very summery colors, I think. Summer, spring type colors. I think it looks really pretty. I'm just gonna, well, I got my hands under here already. I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe some drippage off. Also a good thing to do, because even though you got tape there, boy, the less drips you got, the better. And actually, if you can get it on to your work surface and save it and make a skin out of it, even better. Maximize your creativity. I mean, I am seeing some really lovely drippings along the edge here. I almost want to go, I almost want to get this out of the way and play with the drippings. Add a little alcohol ink to them or something, because some of them are very pretty. I'm just going to scooch this aside so you can see what I'm talking about here. Look at that. I mean, that's beautiful stuff. I mean, that's future jewelry something. Well, why don't I just go ahead and I'll go get my gloves off and get the camera off the tripod, and we'll take a look around at the work surface and everything that's gone on tonight. I'm just going to move these cups in a little closer. Like I said, we don't want to glue our cups to our board or to our table, because those drippings are going to come in very handy. Make pretty stuff out of that drippings, and again, that will also, oh, look at all this running off inside here still. Wow. I feel like I need to go like that, like I tipped it too much. Come back. Yeah. Like I said, good gravy drippings. We are going to be doing plenty of demonstrations from here on out on what to do with all these leftovers, what to do with your resin pours, what to do with your acrylic paint pours, what to do with all the lovely drippings that we have on the table. I mean, we try to make use of all of it. So stay tuned. It's going to be an interesting summer full of fun projects and hopefully good ideas to get you inspired and working on your own projects. So it's been a great week for some new type of content coming next week. If you really miss the pours, please make a comment. We'll bring them right back if that's what you want to see. But I just think it would be a good idea to move beyond the actual the creation of the piece, and let's move on down to see how we get them sold. Let's get these babies to market, okay? All right, folks. Again, stay tuned for those great close-up photographs in the morning, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Have a good night. Okay, as promised, just coming in off tripod while everything is still wet.